Hey guys, what's up? This is Derek with OMG It's Derek.com here with my lovely daughter Eliana. And today we're going to be discussing with you guys 5 different tips that you guys can do to improve your drone videography. Alright, so the first and foremost thing that I see a lot of beginners make when they start flying drones is that they don't switch their phones to airplane mode. So the first thing you want to do when you connect your phone to your controller, can I see that? And you put it all in and hook it up, is you want to turn your phone to airplane mode. There you go, hold that for me, my dear. The reason you want to turn your phone to airplane mode is because, believe it or not, but your phone's Wi-Fi signal, even if you don't have a Wi-Fi signal nearby, just the Wi-Fi signal that your phone puts out will actually interfere with the transmission between your controller and your actual drone unit. So by turning it to airplane mode, you'll actually get better reception between your controller and the drone so that you can fly it further away from you without missing interference or losing the video display that you get on your cell phone. This is especially true with the drones that I fly, like the DJI Phantom 4 Pro. So step number 1, tip number 1, make sure you turn your phone to airplane mode. Alright guys, and tip number 2. The second thing that I highly suggest to beginner that'll take you from a beginner drone pilot to an intermediate is that you pre-plan your shots. Before you even have your drone take off from its landing spot, you want to quickly assess what exact shots you want to get. Whether it's maybe heading towards a certain field in a certain direction or attacking a lake from a different direction, but whatever the shot is that you want to capture, try to visualize that before even taking off inside of your head. There's a couple reasons for that. Number 1, most people are limited to 1 or 2 drone batteries, especially if they're just starting. And believe it or not, you only get about 20 to 25 minutes of flight per battery, which I'm sure you already know, and it's not a lot. So if you don't already kind of have your shots predetermined before you start flying, it's very easy to end up running out of battery before you even get the shots that you're looking for. Secondly, you want to make sure that you have a general idea. That way you take a little bit of time to think through your shots. That way you're not up in the sky just randomly flying around, but you've actually put consideration into the flight. That way you get the best shots possible while you're in the sky. So tip number 2, pre-plan your shots. At least get a general idea of what you're going to be shooting when you're up in the sky. Alright guys, and for our third tip, I'm going to let my daughter Eliana go ahead and tell us that one. Nice and loud.
The third tip is recording in the highest setting.
Okay, most people don't realize, but especially for example with the DJI Phantom 4 Pro, the default settings actually has you recording in UHD or ultra high def instead of in actual 4K, which it can record in. So by actually going into the settings on your phone within the app and changing the settings, you can actually get a better quality out of it simply by making sure that you're recording at the highest setting. And that's tip number 3. Alright guys, and for tip number 4, the fourth thing is most drones come with a default color option selected. And the best thing, you can actually get better color settings in post in Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, whatever software you use, if you record in what's called like either a flat picture format or a log picture format, or in DJI's example, they have Cine-like format. So again, this is something that has to be changed in the settings on your phone once you're connected to your drone, but we'll jump on over to in the phone recording and I'll show you guys where those settings are. But the best ones I found, for example, like for the DJI Phantom 4 Pro, after doing some research, a lot of people suggested recording in the log format. After doing a bunch more research, there were several people that said that you should try recording in the Cine-like format and then adjusting a couple more settings. So let me show you where those are at. Let's jump into the camera. Okay, so once we're inside the phone, what you want to do is click on your settings and go down to color under your recording. You got to make sure you're under the recording and not under your lens option. But when you're under the recording, you go to color and you'll see true color, I believe, is the default, and you'll see D-Syn-Like and D-Log. Like I said, a lot of people mention recording in D-Log, and that's what you do in a lot of cameras like DSLR cameras and stuff, but I've actually found that Syn-Like is a better option. And once you change that in the color, there's a couple more settings you want to mess with. If you go to Style, you can actually go down to Custom, and you can adjust, tweak the exposure and the color settings, the saturation and stuff. So the best options I've found personally that I like is a -1, -2, -1 under Custom. Now again, you can adjust these to whatever works best for you, and you might have to play with a little bit to get the best settings, but this is what I found that worked best for me. So changing those will give you quite a bit better quality out of your drone recordings, along with previously, as we said, changing the video size from the default 4K, which is actually a UHD 4K, to true 4K, which is 4096 by 2160p. Alright guys, and for our last and final tip, tip number 5, we did it, we're to the end. For tip number 5, the biggest thing I start seeing between someone that's a beginner drone flyer and an intermediate to more advanced drone flyer is actually the smoothness of their flight. So a lot of beginning flyers, when they first start flying a drone, they'll go forward, they'll stop suddenly, they'll back up suddenly, they'll stop real quick and turn their drone and kind of do like quick jaggeds, or they'll, you know, full throttle, you know, from a stop position to forward, you know, they'll, you know, just very jagged movements. So one of the best things you can do to really improve your footage is slowing down when you're flying the drone. And when you're using the thumbsticks to control your drone, instead of slamming them into a position, slowly move them and, you know, act more like little movements here and there. So when you want to turn, don't slam your joystick all the way over to the right, for example, but slowly slide it to the right and slowly move it further and further to the right if you want to spin faster and faster to the right. However you want to slowly do it instead of just yanking it over to the right. So nice smooth movements versus quick jagged movements. And that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Alright, so we hope you guys liked it, and what should they do if they did? If they liked our video, what should they do?
Subscribe, hit that bell so you get notifications, and then give the video a thumbs up.
Alright, so subscribe, say a little louder. What should they do if they liked our video?
Subscribe, hit that bell so you get notifications, and
Hit the like button.
hit the like button.
Subscribe, hit the bell, and hit the like. Fist bump, we did it. Alright guys, that's our 5 tips. Until next time, peace out everybody. So what did you just say? It's what?
It's a little bit heavier than you think, but that's just to me since I'm a kid.
Oh, because you're a kid, that's why it's heavier? Alright, are you ready to fly the drone some?
Yeah.
Alright, let's do this.